This intends to combat the malnutrition problem of
The UN's
our...
latest report on global hunger shows we're moving backwards. At least 828 million people went hungry one way or another on a daily basis.
This aims to utilize the local production of farm.
Global food crisis, but what's causing it? And can we do something?
Hunger is when we don't have enough to eat. It is when populations experience severe food insecurity. This means that those who suffer from hunger would go entire days without eating due to a lack of money, lack of access to food, and many more. Globally, the hunger crisis has not had many changes. Hunger has increased in all regions of the world. Nearly 811 million people went to bed hungry in 2020, as many as 161 million more than in 2019. Hunger has also risen to historic highs in the Philippines. Hunger was most prevalent in Metro Manila with 23.3%, followed by 16% in Mindanao, 14.4% in Luzon, and 14.3% in the Visayas.
Base sa Social Weather Station's o SWS survey, sukad Hulyo, misa ka ngadto sa 30.7% ang gidaghanon sa mga nakasinati og kagutom. Record high kuno kini sa hunger incidence sa nasud, human nalampasan niini ang record ni atong March 2012 nga ana sa 23.8%. Misa ka sabang overall hunger sa Mindanao nga gikan sa 24.2% o anaa sa 1.4 million families ni adtong July, karon anaa kini sa 37.5% o 2.1 million families.
Digging deeper into the issue or conflict, the food basket issue is wherein Mindanao was declared as the country's food basket, yet ironically, many of its people continue to starve. Although regarded as the country's food basket, Mindanaoans could be one of those that starve the most, mainly because of the effects of poverty and negotiating at a loss, wherein businesses, especially farmers, are forced to lower the prices of their goods, therefore negotiating at a loss and ending the day with a very low earning or income, which then worsens their purchasing capability and hunger situation. Moreover, the affected cope with their circumstances by continuing to sell their farm goods at a low price, or in other words, negotiating at a loss to at least earn even just a little amount enough for their families to survive. In addition, they also participate in programs like the 4Ps, which would help them gain money. According to Ferranil from Poverty as Deprivation, a news article in 2012, roughly 7 million of more than 12.5 million Mindanaoans suffered from hunger. The government responds or takes actions by resolving the policies and efforts to improve food and agricultural production in Mindanao. They have 3 goals to uplift the citizens of Mindanaoans. First, promote and protect smallholders' right to land. Second, increase the production of farming sectors. And third, persuade them to take participation in those 2 goals. Moreover, they have activities, projects, and programs like the National Feeding Program to combat hunger not only in Mindanao but in the Philippines as a whole. Furthermore, as stated previously, since farmers negotiate at a loss, they end up earning less than they are supposed to or than what they truly deserve. Given this, their purchasing power concerning goods is decreased or limited, which could then worsen their hunger situation, since this would mean that it will be harder for them to gain access to food, especially nutritious ones.
Sir, bili nga po kayo.
Magkano yan, kuya?
1 kilo, 60 pesos.
Ito,
80 pesos sa portolan.
itong malunggay mo,
Per stick, 20 pesos.
mahal naman. Sige, babalikan ko na lang.
Sir,
Oo. Magkano nga ito kuya?
60 pesos po.
Ito,
80 pesos po.
mahal pa rin. Pwede mo mababaan?
Isang kilo, 50 pesos siguro.
Ito,
Opo.
ito,
60 pesos makaya.
mahal pa rin. Sa lagay mo yan, wala nang bibili nito. Sige, bigyan kita dito, 30 pesos. Tapos ito, 40.
Sir, malulugi ata ako niyan. Wala na akong makain sa aking pamilya.
Sige na, huwag ka na magdalawang isip. Wala nang bibili nito. Ang mahal-mahal ng benta mo. Ako na lang ang bibili nito. Sige na, 30 tapos 40.
Sige sir.
Sige. Magkano nga ito? 30 pati 40 no? So, 70. Ang sakto. Okay, thank you.
Thank you sir. Ng mga
Hi, Tay! Ano po ulam natin ngayon?
Saglit lang, kunin ko.
Sige po.
Sorry mga anak, ito lang ating ulam.
Bakit po?
Nalugi kasi ako kanina sa trabaho. Pero sige lang, sa susunod, bigyan ko kayo ng masasarap na pagkain.
Sige po. Ikaw po.
Para mabusog din kayo. Sige po tayo.
According to Mr. Kaubang, up to this point in time, there is no such thing as a law providing budgets that will encourage the promotion of food production. Such should be a strategy that the government should put into law. A certain percentage of the budget will focus on the programs for developing food production in some food production areas, especially in Mindanao. It should be encouraged in the local government, where they should set a regular budget and put it into an appropriation ordinance that they will have to set aside 10% of the total budget so that the local government will focus on programs for food production. Suppose there is no specific focus development budget on programs and projects, in that case, it will not resolve the problem. So, it should be the priority that food production will have a certain percentage to become a law. He urges that this is the only way to encourage people to avail of the services that will enable farmers to go on food production if we could have a lot budgeted for the programs by the government. However, the problem now is that the government needs to give money with direction. So instead, certain money or amount should be focused on the promotion of food production. That is the only thing that will encourage farmers to be active, to be involved again, because farmers are only planting at their capacity just for their consumption, and whatever is surplus, they can sell it, but never make production as to be objective of surplus. They only plant, they only farm for sustenance, to sustain the needs of their family, not the needs of their community. Furthermore, they recommended the expansion of the allegation systems to resolve the water problem, especially in Mindanao.
Why do you think Mindanaoans remain to be one of the Filipinos that starve the most?
Mindanao remained as the poorest out of the three islands due to the great amount of poverty and also the plentiful social issues that happened there. Examples are violence, the calamities, the vulnerability of the Filipinos to the calamities, and low income.
What do you think about the previous governments neglecting the issue of young prices?
With my own understanding, I think they sort of lack responsibility, but in my opinion, we can't really judge and assume na wala silang ginagawa since para ma-achieve lang natin ang ating sustainable development goals, kailangan natin i-prioritize ang poverty mismo kasi yun ang talagang problema natin sa mismo sa lahat ng mga social issues natin na nangyari ngayon.
At the moment, in what way can you contribute to addressing the hunger crisis?
As a student at my age, I can't really say na maka-fully impact ako sa long-term goals ng mga tao sa government in terms of resolving hunger crisis. Pero for the very least, I can volunteer in campaigns and be an advocate throughout my life.
What do you think is the best way or course of action to resolve the hunger crisis?
I can practice reducing pollutions in order to stop the rate of climate change in our country because it affects the rate of poverty and it also affects our agriculture.
What do you think about the previous governments neglecting the hunger issue?
It's so irresponsible of them to neglect such a problem, and it's very much prevalent today. Thousands of Filipinos suffer and die from this issue, yet they still choose to ignore it and focus more on other things like banning K-dramas because nati-threaten sila ng mababa ang ratings ng mga pelikula natin instead of facing the issue.
At the moment, in what way can you contribute to addressing the hunger crisis?
With the current situation of the pandemic, and as a student, we think the best way to help is spreading awareness through social media para marami ang makakita at makaalam ng issue na ito.
What do you think is the best way or course of action to resolve the hunger crisis?
We believe that the best thing to do first would be to raise awareness on such a crisis through the use of social media platforms. Doing such could engage the people more and encourage them to take actions when they realize that such a problem is a lot more serious or concerning than they think.